Hi, I'm Ken Lammers, and today we are going to do a minor league report on the Greeneville Reds here at Minor League Matters. And the main thing we're going to concentrate right now on are the four new coaches. The Reds have hired their on-field coaches, and it's an interesting mix. I think most people are going to be looking around and saying, well, Chad Cordero is your number one guy they've gotten. And I think that's maybe wrong. I think there's a good chance that's wrong. The person who I think may be the biggest catch for the Greeneville Reds is Darrell Brinkley. And most of you have never heard of Darrell Brinkley, right? Which is a shame. Darrell Brinkley was a guy that batted over 500 in college, right? He then went on and he didn't get drafted, right? He goes into the unaffiliated leagues and the Korean leagues and all this sort of stuff, and he does really well. And he then gets picked up by minor league baseball, and kicks around there for several years in minor league affiliated baseball, and almost makes it to the majors one time, except for the fact that he was in Australia playing in the Australian League when the Orioles tried to call him up on the 10th of September 2001. We all know what happened on the 11th of September. He didn't get back. By the time he got back, the Orioles had already found somebody else to fill the slot, and so he never got to play a major league game. He then goes on and plays more, international and or unaffiliated ball. Apparently, I think he batted 400 in the Atlantic League. I mean, this guy was a major batter. He had good lumber, right? But never made it into the pros. And it's really a shame. And I think he may really turn out to be a catch because if he's that good of a batter, even at upper level unaffiliated minor league, he's that good a batter. Well, then he's going to be able to teach these kids something, and I think he's a good catch. Now, most people are going to recognize Chad Cordero, who's the new pitching coach. He's obviously a good catch. Did really well in the majors. Made the All-Star, all sorts of stuff. He did well. He faded after a while, but he was really good in his day, and so I think that he's going to do a pretty good job when it comes to getting in there and showing young pitchers how to work it, how to make things work. So that's a pretty good shot. The third guy is Reggie Williams, the bench coach. He is not the 90s guy. He's not the football player. He's the guy that was an outfielder in the 1980s. You haven't heard much about him since then. He's apparently kicking around a little bit, doing some coaching in the minors now, and he is the bench coach for the Greeneville Reds. And more power to him. I hope it brings better things for him. The potential weakest link is Gookie Dawkins. Gookie Dawkins, who has been a hitting coach for the Reds for a little bit now, is now the head coach for the Appalachian League Greeneville Reds. Obviously he was a pretty okay player, and he must be doing a pretty good job at coaching in the minors to become a head coach, or maybe it's just we're going to take a chance on this guy this time. I think we all remember, or maybe we don't, but Gookie Dawkins' career ended. He had already shifted back to the minors, but his career ended when he got a 50 game suspension on his second showing up hot for drugs on a drug test. So that's a bad past, but apparently I think it was around 2009. Hopefully he's more on the straight and narrow now, and things will go well. I wish him all the luck in the world, but I got to say, of the four people, he is the weak link, as best I can tell. Uh, Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Reds have spotted an amazing head coach. We'll see. I hope that I'm absolutely proven wrong and that this man is able to walk over to me in the stands and laugh in my face about halfway through the season, if he even recognizes me. But until that time, we're just going to have to watch some minor league ball and see how it turns out. So that's my report on the four people who are now your coaches for the Greeneville Reds. And I look forward to talking to you some more about this later. But until that time, well, you know what my usual advice is. Hit like, subscribe, watch every video a whole bunch of times, leave comments. I can't promise I'll answer them. I will try to, but, have that day job that gets in the way. And beyond all that, the usual advice is, go watch some minor league ball. And I'll see you next time.